This is what I'm going to be doing in my practice for today. Here are the practice objectives for today's session. At the end of today's practice, I would need to get more comfortable sketching in Blender. I largely do most of my sketching in Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, Krita, you name it. More in Clip Studio Paint anyway. So number 2, converting photo reference. So I have a photo reference of myself doing some action, doing a pose. From pose to pose, I'm going to be sketching those things which actually represents frames in an animation. I might develop it further or not, I'm not really sure, but then yeah, so those things represent key. So key is basically an important part of a motion. You could think about it this way: if you take those drawings out of an animation, it becomes very hard to read the action or the motion taking place, or the general story behind that that action or motion taking place. So that's the key. All right, so those skeletons I'm going to be drawing, I'm going to first represent the key. Then number 3, I'm going to convert those essential skeletons into mannequins. So basically, you know how like those dolls that you see that have parts that you could like fix together, it will look something like that. That forms like the base for me developing my character. So that's my basic figure drawing. Like the first 2 to 3 steps in my figure drawing process, I do a skeleton, then I develop a mannequin, refine the mannequin, and then add the various features. But then for today, I'll just be doing the essential skeleton and then the mannequin. All right, so with that said, let's jump into let's jump into the practice. All right, so we have here, I'm in the 2D animation interface in Blender. How you get here is basically just come to File, go to New, and then 2D animation, and it brings you to the same interface. I usually like to work with seeing the edges of my canvas. So just press Control and the minus button, that brings you to this point. So yeah, that's basically it. Control plus brings you in. By default, the pencil or your whatever sketching thing is ready for you to go. So that's it. I don't want to talk too much about like the interface and everything. I'll record another video on how to download, set up, and then find your way around the basic interface of Blender. For today, I just want to focus on my figure drawing practice and my thought process behind what I'm doing. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically open up the images that I have of me, okay, on another computer where I'm looking at and I'm sketching. That's one thing that I really advocate. If you're now learning, it's best to use photo references of real life people, not excessively stylized drawings, you know, very cartoony stuff that are far from reality. If you are now learning, it's good to sort of learn the rules and then break it as you go. All right, so I'm going to start off with my first drawing. So basically just moving around, press the Shift and Alt to sort of pan around, and then yeah, let's move. All right, so test my pencil. I like to just increase. Okay, let me reduce this a bit. Let's see. Okay, I think this is cool. So that's the strength of my pencil. All right, I think I'll just stick with this over there for the first sketch. All right. So with the head, let's just like to start off with a simple circle, and then sketch. So on line 1. Okay. Line 1, that's where the sketches are going to take place. So if I turn this off, see, it disappears, comes back, disappears, comes back. All right, so let's proceed then. All right, so looking at my reference, sketching, and then here's the neck. It's sort of an angle, so the elbow, sorry, the shoulder won't be all the way here. It has a bit of a bend like a hanger. Then this is where the shoulder is, then it connects all the way back to this one in this place. I think it's further down, it's tilted down a bit instead, so I'll just use this to indicate where it's tilted down. Yeah, just a bit here. Then I come here for my erase tool, press the key brackets, the square brackets, to just reduce or increase the opacity. the one on the left would reduce it, the one on the right, the square brackets, will increase it. So that's just basically what I'm doing. Come back to my pencil tool and continue sketching. All right, so there's a bit of a slump, in there. Okay, I think I might bring this just a bit closer here. Yeah, just a bit closer over here this way. All right, just be changing as we're going along. This is the base, so you're just trying to get it close as possible to what it is. Okay, and this one, because you don't have too many drawings going on in here, too many lines or strokes, you can easily erase things and then move. You're not too overly committed to the drawing, certain things. As if it was more like a fully refined drawing, you'd be more hesitant to erase things. So I always advocate that my students just start with mastering the basic mannequin, and then the basic this essential skeleton, just stick figures to get their base right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna like mirroring, just ghosting this line to find where the other elbow will be. It's up a bit, his like I've raised my hand a bit, so I'll just do like a kind of arc thing, and I'll say okay, it's got to be somewhere around here. And then I'll bring this down a bit, connecting this to this. It's too sketchy, so Ctrl Z to undo. All right, that's still kind of sketchy. All right, eraser 2, just erase this. Back to my pencil 2, and then yeah, let's join this. Now I want some more space. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over to edit mode, press A to select everything, S to scale. I'll just shrink it down a bit, press G, and then I'll move it up a bit. Okay, cool. Then I come back to draw mode, and then I zoom in. All right, so let's see. Okay, so just use this to indicate where the rest is going to be. Just quick, it's just something quick to move. All right, then with the pelvis, I just use like box, connect another one over here. All right, then this feet is going in front. There's another dot here, and then the other leg is behind. And it's more like this way. All right, cool. Then just do another arc to find out where my hand is, somewhere around here. Using this to just find where it sort of starts the other hand. I just use a block for this. Yeah, and that's it. Use this. Now I might not want the knees to come in, so what I'll basically do is now I'm looking at the proportions. It seems like the upper arm is a bit too longer than, so I'll just bring this down a bit. And then just erase this. Okay, so see that I'm talking about, is you don't have too many strokes going on, so you can easily adjust things to match your reference as accurately as possible. Hey, let me save this real quick. All right, so figure drawing practice. Who am I? So who are you? Yeah, I'll explain the concept behind this, why it's called Who Are You. So the whole idea, I don't want to drift too much and then you don't catch anything from the drawing. So let's see if we can do this side by side. So back to edit mode again, A to select everything, G, I just bring this down a bit here somewhere. I think that's fine. All right, back to drawing mode. All right, cool. All right. All right, so I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'm just looking at the reference and then seeing. Can I bring this somewhere around here? All right, I think this is fine. This is fine. All right, that's cool. Let's move. So now I just moved to, let's say, frame. So that's like 24 frames. So I'll move to like frame 25. All right, so that's basically just come in and just like click and drag the playhead. All right, cool. So if you sketch, this disappears and then it moves to like onion skin. Come to the right, scroll all the way to the bottom. Where's this thing? All right, so you just click this thing. It's called the object data properties. Come down to onion skin and just turn these off. Let's see. Yeah, that's cool. So let me increase the opacity a bit so at least I can see what I'm doing. All right, that's cool. So let's move on to the next frame. All right, so the next frame probably going to be standing somewhere all the way around here. Okay, now I'm just using this to sort of gauge where the head level will be. It might be raised a bit because now the person is going to be standing. For this one, the person is going down, so the person's height will not be the same, but now the person is standing on both feet, so the person is going to be a bit taller. Okay, so all right, so we have this going on. So see, I'm constantly just tracing this to just help me find where the point will be. All right, cool. Now I'm looking at my reference to just get my proportions well. All right. Okay. All right. I might want to move this to the center a bit, so you can just come to edit mode and then just select these ones. Now what you can do is, I believe you can just come here, come to the select, box select, and then it picks this. Press G and then you move it to the center there. So that's select, box select, and then you move the various selection tools you can use. But then yeah, back to draw mode, and then yeah, let's move on. Let's put the elbow somewhere here. So constantly looking at my reference. Sorry, the eraser was on. Constantly looking at my reference to make sure that I'm drawing to match the reference material. Okay, elbows are up out a bit. This will be up a bit because the person is standing taller now. And I just use like a circle just to let's just use the line. Okay, so what I'm doing for the pelvic edge is this. I'm just doing something like this, and then the legs go there like that. All right, cool. So I'll bring this all the way down. All right, there's a bit of a bend inside. Okay, for it not to be too symmetrical, I might just push this arm out a bit and then make this one show, because that's what's happening in my reference. So it's not like I'm doing this on the fly. This is like straight and this is showing the inside of the palm. All right, so cool. And then somewhere around here. Alright, cool. So that's frame 2. Save. Now I'll just come here to, let's say 49. I'm doing like one each every second. It doesn't really matter. I'm just getting comfortable with placing them. I just want to see the transitions slowly as I'm transitioning between them. Alright, so now the head goes down a bit here. Okay, alright. Now I'll just shift this a bit to just show a bit of a tilt in the neck, and this will go up a bit. So you see, it becomes easy for you to use the point to point approach, where you can easily show the points and then manipulate them as you wish. If there were full whole drawings completed with contours and lines and everything, it becomes more complex because there's too many things going on. Alright, so now just over here, so you have like kind of a hand here, and then it's taking off a mask. Okay. Alright. Okay. And then connect this, looking at the proportion of the arm from where the shoulder is all the way to this point. Alright, cool. So we have like the spine. Alright, there's not going to be much change here, so we'll just keep this. Alright. And then so this arm is now like, this arm is now moved forward and is holding the mask. Okay, using the arc one more time to ghost where it would be, because I can't see it in the reference. So just ghosting where this would be, and then just placing this over here. Now I'm looking at my arm in real life to just see how that's going to be looking here. Alright, cool. Alright, so the head should be down. Let me just zoom in and do something here. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in here, and then just do this to indicate that the head is going to be pointing downwards. Okay, let me just shift this a bit without getting too much into the details. So you can use like stroke to delete strokes, and then dissolve is more of like a softer kind of approach to cleaning lines. Yeah, but then yeah, you get a point. Okay, cool. So I'm just using this to help me know, reference that okay, the head is going to be pointing downwards. Nothing too detailed, just let me know the head is going to point downwards. And then yeah, I can turn off the onion skin. Let's see, what's this thing? Yeah, just turn on the onion skin to see that frame. Alright, cool. Alright, so this is not really selling it for me. I don't think that's how the arm was supposed to look at that angle. So let me just come here and just delete this. I think like look at the proportions and stuff, that's not what should be happening. So I'm going to just put a line here to just put a hand here for what I think should be happening here. Okay, and then now connect this, so keeping in mind the proportion of the hand. Okay, keep in mind the proportion of the hand. So if I do this seems super unrealistic. All right, so immediately you can see that you can start working out what is going on if you are familiar with the proportions and everything. So if I put the arm here, That means I'm supposed to probably put this here for this to work. Okay. Alright. Because you have to keep that, just drawing through the figure as if like you have an X-ray. To just draw through the figure. This will probably work. Look at the proportions. This will probably work. I might have to bring this down a bit. Hold shift to select like multiple lines. This. Alright. So what I want, let me just control it to select everything. And then right click this. Let me just go with my box select. Use circle select. Now let me use lasso. Select and then lasso. Alright, let's see. So it just sort of like just draws everything. Oopsie daisy, that's not what I had in mind. Okay, let's just do box select here. That's not what I had in mind. Alright, you know what we're gonna do? Let's just select. So holding shift and then right click. That's why I'm saying I need to get familiar with sketching in Blender. This is what I mean. You see how to manipulate stuff around and all that. It's really important. Okay. So box select. All right, we'll take this. Yeah. So that's why it's a practice session. It's getting familiar with sketching in Blender. So what I'm going to do now is I think the head should be tilted down a bit more. Let's see if I get what I want. It's fine, we'll take that. Press R for rotate and just like rotate it down a bit. G for select, and then alright, I think I'll take that. I keep pressing space bar because I think I'm in Krita or something. Yeah. Alright, that's cool. Everything will probably start making sense when we start adding in more details. So let me move to the next keyframe. We'll put out like 65. Alright, put out 65. Pick my draw. Alright, so let me turn on onion skin. I think I'll move faster a bit. You get what I'm doing over here. I'm just basically drawing skeletons to. So there's a foreshadowing going on over here. Just basically drawing skeletons to represent the various features of what I'm building. Then when I'm done, I'll add the mannequin on top of it. Okay, so that's basically it. This is straightforward, nothing fancy going on here. Let's just zoom in. Alright. Okay, I'll just drop this arm, let it go back a bit, So you see what I just did, just real quick, just trace where that other one will be. I can just come here real quick and look at this one. Somewhere around here. Alright. Okay, so that's basically it for that side. I think that's something I also need to learn how to do, how to just draw from, what's the name? Okay, I've done a mistake over here, so I need to just correct that real quick. So I've drawn on a different keyframe. So I come to the timeline, just right click this one. Let me just click in and drag to expand. Alright, so 60. It's not much here, so I'll just delete this frame. Just delete this frame. Oopsie daisy. Let's go edit mode. Delete strokes. So that was basically just edit. Let me do that again. So edit mode, delete, and then delete strokes, and then that was it. So I'll make sure that I'm on 65. Come back to draw mode. Yeah, I know drawing in Blender is, for starters, it's not so intuitive like your Photoshop, your Krita, or your, what's the name, Clip Studio Paint, but you know, it's just like in a skill. It would take time. So you've just got to put in the practice. Let me turn off my screen. You've just got to put in the practice to get better. That's it. It's not, so there's no magic to it. Just put in the time. That's why this is practice. You know, I didn't label it tutorial or something like that. But just watch me practice. Just watch me struggle. This is the back of the head. So yeah, just watch me practice. Just watch me struggle. All right, that's it. So the next keyframe. So now the character is looking upwards, turn on onion skin here. So just do like a head tilt. Let me see that easy. Sorry. Okay, so make sure that we are on that keyframe. Come here, press G, and then you can just move everything. Okay, so just move it somewhere around here. Then make sure the timeline is on it. Other than that, you're going to be drawing on a different keyframe. Okay, so let's proceed. Oh boy. Practice. Let's push the head up a bit. I'll just do this. And then okay, so that's basically my head looking upwards this way. Alright, the head is a bit too big, so I might probably shrink it down a bit too. Alright, so now let's bring back the, what's the name, the shoulder level to the same height, because the arm was back to where it's, yeah, where it's supposed to be. Okay, so that's it. Once again, just tracing the end. Alright, so we have something identical going on here with this arm. Alright, okay, so that's it. I hope I'm talking loudly enough into the microphone and I'm not swallowing all my words. But yeah, that's basically it. This is like my first video. Yeah, it's not basically, it is my first video, so pardon me. I'll get better with time. It's just like any other skill. So yeah. And that's it. I don't like what's going on over here, so I'm just gonna correct those things. Alright, so yeah, we'll work with this. Alright, so the head is looking up here. I think how many do you have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add one more somewhere around here. Okay, so for this, the head would shift and just look up straight. Okay, I'll just do, how many minutes do we have we done so far? I think we've done about yeah, almost 30 minutes now. 30 plus minutes. So I'll just do this last one and I'll wrap it up so that we don't have such a long what's the name, practice session. Oh, you know something, let's do a long practice session. Let's do a long practice session. It's fine, I don't want to cut this short. All right, so as I was saying, that the head, I feel like the head is too big. The head is too big, so I'll shrink it in the various frames. Shrink it in the various frames. So let me just finish this one, and then I'll come back, and then so now I want the head to look up, so basically looking like upwards. All right, so let's do this bit. Let's have it looking upwards a bit. Oh boy, I hope you can hear me in this tutorial. It seems like I keep swallowing my words. Please forgive me, but I hope you're getting the basic direction of what I'm doing. So I'm going to start the mannequin right now, and I'll do the last couple of frames. I'll come back and do the last couple of frames. I think we have one where the head looks up and then reaches out. Let me just do the reach out. Okay, let me just do the reach out real quick. Just picking an arbitrary. So you see, immediately I've noticed that if I reach out my hand, it's not going to go through. So you don't worry. This is what I'm going to do, right? Just going to pick this one, and I'm going to draw, so I can draw like out of it. Right? It's going to go outside of the canvas, but that's fine. Then I'll shrink it. I'll shrink it as all at once, so that it sort of shrinks proportionally. All right. Okay. Come to edit mode. I want to add a bit of rotation to it. Select lasso. All right. All right, cool. R to rotate. G to move. Alright, cool. I like this. Come back to edit mode, draw, and then that's it. We'll maintain this. Alrighty. Practice. Okay, so let me just drink a little water. I'll voice up a bit more. Okay, so yeah, now the energy is back. Let's try the pelvic area. All right, so that's just join the pelvic area, and I think that's basically it. Sorry about my dogs. Yeah, it's all part. Maybe later I can get some what's the name, soundproof studio to record these things. All right. Okay, cool. So let's start off with the mannequin. So come back to the first frame. If like you can just play this thing and see what you have. Let's zoom out. It's nothing fancy at all. Come down here, reduce it to, I think that's like 100 and, let me see, 110 sort of ish. Let's just play what we have here. Yeah, that's it. Let's zoom out. So let's see. Let's zoom out so that you see what's going on over here. Yeah, so let's play this. So that's just basically what's happening. Steps in, takes off the mask, puts the mask down, raises the head, and then picks a new one. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Cool. So the next phase, we are going to start drawing the mannequin. Okay, so we've done the converting the photo reference to an essential skeleton, which represents a key. So that's this one. Next, what we're going to do is, oops, sorry about that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to convert so that's point number 3. We're going to convert the essential skeleton into a mannequin. All right, let's begin then. Now, whatever mannequin I'm going to be using is based on quite some time of experience. Why I'm using this particular mannequin style, I'll record another tutorial explaining my choices in detail, but for now you can just simply follow and then yeah, make life a whole lot easier. All right, so let's start off. So yeah, what I noticed in the previous one was that my essential skeleton was too large, because in this last keyframe the hand extends outside of the frame. All right, so what I'm just going to come to this picked object, all right, and then press S to scale, and it scales all the keyframes together. All right, so let's move to the last one and see. All right, nice. So it's still in the keyframe. Press G, and I'll just bring it down nicely over here. So now you see every layer is nicely. Oh, okay, so I also need to go and check something out real quick. All right, so let me show you why this is happening, why it's drifting this way. This is getting comfortable drawing in Blender. Click here, the top left, for the various views, timeline. Let's see, so it's shifting in the timeline and stuff. That's not what we want. So just double A to select everything, right click this, and then delete. So now if I come here, right click and then delete, press G and place it here, and it's going to maintain that throughout, no shifting. All right, cool. All right, now let me also move this a bit to this side, sort of. Yeah, so let's see how, so that happens somewhere around here. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, you know something, let me push this guy more into the center. So currently we are at the time, just come here, click this, we are at the timeline graph, or should I say the timeline view, and then I'll pick this one, press G. I want to move him a bit to the side so that this guy takes like the center. Yeah, center. All right, so now when he reaches out to take the new mask, he's still in the center of, yeah, what we're doing. All right, cool. Control C. So now come back here, click this, come to the dope sheet, and you have the various keyframes. All right, so A to just deselect everything. You can right click this to select this layer, come to the top, pick draw mode. All right, then I'll come here, and then right now I'm deciding, should I do a new mannequin on top, or should I, okay, I think I'll do a new mannequin on top. So I'll just come here, lock this, come to this part, all right, and just create a new layer. Double click it. I'll call this the mannequin. Okay, the mannequin. All right, so let's begin sketching. Let me just zoom in a bit. Open my reference. All right, it's time to begin sketching. So just let me increase my strength a bit. Just using a circle for that. Then like a kind of a cylinder for this portion. Circle for here. And then I'll try and move fast in this one so that this tutorial doesn't stretch out too much. Yeah, so on second thought, I should have probably done this on another layer, but I wanted to have a case where I can just turn this off and then see the changes. But yeah, let's just continue moving. That's why it's practice. You know, you learn as you go. I just use like a box for the chest. And then so yeah, I think I'll just push this down a bit, just where the elbow is, you know, just where the elbow is. Pick my razor too. Now I'm deliberately moving fast so that this practice doesn't take too long. Then so this is slight tilt. Okay, so yeah, just tilt this a bit. Now immediately I've noticed a mistake that I did. Okay, so let me put this here instead, and then this will connect to this side, you know. So let's just do that. All right, so that's the pelvic area. Let me just delete this. Come to the line, unlock this, come back, lock this, come to the mannequin. Alright, and then this will rather connect this way. Alright, so for the mannequin, what I have in mind, or let's say I'll just do something this way. I'll put like a sphere here, and then I'll use a cylinder ish kind of thing for this side. Zoom in so I'm more comfortable with my drawing. Alright, so we have this cylinder going across this place this way. Alright, the pelvic area can be a bit tricky sometimes, how to represent it in a mannequin. So I will probably do a separate tutorial on how to represent this. Alright, so let me just come here and then just use this. Okay, and pick this, then just do this. Alright, it's not doing what I want to do. Learning a new tool can sometimes be very annoying. I'll use the dissolve, increase the strength. Let's just turn this off and see. Alright, I think this works for me. Control C. Alrighty, let's pick this. Okay. Cool. Cool. I like it. If I had probably traced on top of the, what's the name? I would have probably had a more accurate presentation. But then, yeah. Once again, it's practice. So let's move. Let's move on. So you just see a bit of the shoulder. This bit of the shoulder sticking out over there, and then the mannequin goes here. Let's check this. It's recording. Yep, it's recording. All right. Okay. Just let's get into too much detail. Yeah. Let's see something. Yeah. All right. So that's basically it. I have like this floating space in there. I like to just leave it like that. I used to put things there, but I realized that I think it's better just leave it. It makes it easy for me to manipulate whatever I'm drawing. Just extend it up a bit. Like if it's twisting and turning, I'm still trying to make some decisions on which mannequin will give me the best stepping stone for the next phase of what I'm drawing. All right, so let's see. Yeah. All right, so that's basic mannequin over here. Let me zoom in to just get the neck area. The neck, I think I'll just leave it this way and then just extend a kind of square kind of thing. All right. Okay, let's see what we got. It's probably gonna look ugly, but that's fine. Because the neck is shifted all the way back here. Let's just get rid of this. Let's connect this in a weird way to the neck. Alrighty, just shortcutting everything along the way. Okay, I think I'll take this. I'm not so happy with it, but then yeah, I'll take this. All right, let's move to the next drawing. I'll probably do this real quick. Turn off onion skin. I might not be talking much in this one because I want to move fast, but then yeah, so connect the neck here. Constantly looking at my mannequin over here to make sure that I'm keeping the basic proportions the same for which I've built it. Use a cylinder-ish for this side, circle for here. Another cylinder for this part. I'll not get too much into detail over here. I was just trying out a different pencil to see how it feels. This is basically a mannequin already, so I'll fuss too much about this one. Okay, so put my box thing here. Looking at where it ends somewhere around here. Keeping those proportions the same because they end somewhere around here. And then yeah, that's it. Wow, recording it. Enjoying and recording at the same time is hard. It's hard. Okay, I think I'll just do something like this. And then just do the draw through of the socket ball thingy over here. And then connect this here. Yeah, that's it. Drawing and talking is hard. Respect to all those art, to all the art YouTube channels out there. Drawing and talking is hard work. All right, so let's see what happened here. Did I draw on the wrong frame? I think I drew on the wrong frame, so I just come here, right click, pick G, and then move it here, boom, and it's right on top of the frame. All right, cool. So if I turn this off, turn off on the skin, yeah. So now you have something that's getting close to what the finished, you know, will look like. Drawing will look like. All right, so let's just come here. So yeah, you get my basic workflow of what's the name of working. Yeah, stand off on the skin. Okay, let's keep it on. You get my basic workflow of how I'm building these things up. How I'm building, how I'm using this to learn figure drawing for animation. Because with animation, you're basically, you know, moving a 3D object in this 2D space. We need to know how to draw these primitive shapes, sphere, cones, and all of these things, boxes, cubes, and all that. In a 3D space in such a way that it's convincing. So that's what we're basically doing with this drawing practice, breaking down the human shape into basic primitive shapes, and then yeah, drawing them and then building on top of it. So that means like you should already have a good knowledge of what each of the shapes in its primitive form will look like. So immediately I'm seeing something off here. I'm seeing something off here. Okay, let's proceed. But I'm thinking this might have to extend. Let's do that correction. This might probably have to come down a bit, and then this will be here instead, and then this will be here. Yeah, so you see at this stage you don't have too much invested, so you can just quickly go in and then delete stuff, you know, change stuff to suit whatever you're creating. It's a bit of tilt, so I'll just use this to indicate the tilt of the box. So let me turn off onion skin so you see what I'm doing here. This will probably, let me just use this to, you know, indicate that this is sort of going to be behind the scenes. Yeah, it's not, because it's going to be behind. It's not going to be anything too aggressive. Yeah, so just the hand. It still looks off for me, so I don't know, maybe it's just the, yeah, I think it's fine, but maybe the angle that I'm looking at it from, that's why it's looking off for me. Because if I dropped this arm, it will come somewhere around here. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, practice. All right, cool. So let's turn on onion skin. Let's see how we did this one. All right, just put another ball here. So you can easily copy and paste, but then one more time, once again, you're using this for practice. Okay, using this for practice. Just rejoin the same thing over and over and over again until you get really comfortable with it. So a couple of things I've realized is I'm struggling with the pelvic area, how to represent it. It's still stubborn for me. Yeah, it's still quite stubborn for me, so I'll have to work on that a bit more. And that's what this is all about, you know, self-assessing and then correcting. Let me reduce the opacity a bit of the what's the name, the essential skeleton. Just turn this off. So that's it, just reducing the opacity here. Okay, all right, let's come back to the mannequin, and then let's add the head. Let me turn this off and see. All right, cool. Let's choose this one all the way down. All right, so that's basically what this is all about. Okay, I think this is cool. Let's move on to the next figure. So that's when the hand is being placed on the, so this will probably be seen like the top of the cylinder. So once again, you should know what the primitive shapes look like for each of the various features of the arm, so that you can manipulate it quite easily. Alright, so you can just Alright, I'm quiet because, you know, sometimes you just need to just focus on what you're doing. This pinky is a bit tilted, but you know, let's just leave those ones for later. It's a disaster. It's a disaster for the arm, but then let's just simplify this. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's continue. So I just separate this. I'll join these ones into one. Just do a couple of lines in there, and then cut it here, and that's it. that's basically it. Nothing too fancy. All right, so now we already have the tilt and everything. So yeah, let's turn this off and just draw this on top. All right, and then the arm drops. So I'm using this to guide me. You see this mannequin to sort of guide me. Alright, so I'm not talking much because I think at this point you sort of figured out what we are building. What we're creating here is quite straightforward. Just practicing the same shapes over and over again so that it sticks in the muscle memory. And if you want to see what you're going to see me do next, kindly just share it in the chats. Maybe you want me to create more videos. What's the name? The essential skeleton. You can just let me know, and I'll create more videos on the essential skeleton. Okay. All right. So. Let me increase the opacity a bit so I don't spend so much time. Yes, I'm just increasing the opacity so I don't stress my arm too much. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay. So let's see what we have so far. Let me turn off the lines. So you know something, let me just turn off because this thing just looks weird. Let me just erase this thing here. Alright, cool. Now let's play this and see. So you see, walks, stops, takes off mask, puts it down, and then you're getting a nice mannequin as you're working along, you know. Let me draw. Let me draw the neck properly as it connects. So you see, all of these things are, you know, things that you have to be assessing and taking mental notes of. So I'm realizing that I'm currently struggling with the neck area, how to really accurately represent that. So that's something that I know I need to work on. You see, so that sometimes, you know, you just need to self assess and then correct. It makes life a whole lot easier for you. I think I like the point. Probably use the point. Once again, practice and learn at the same time. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's turn on the lines to see what we're working with. Let's see. Oh, sorry, it's not on it properly. Okay. All right, so the arm is like sort of down in this one. All right, let's turn this on. Let's work. I accidentally just pressed this, so yeah, just let's turn on my skin. And I'm having too many layers clustered up, so I'll probably just turn this off, and then let's see. Okay, so the head is looking upwards in a way. Okay, so let's turn this off, turn this on. Okay, shifts to the back. All right, cool. Don't worry, I know that. I'll just work with this. I'll just be turning it off and on as we work. So I'm just turning it off and on as I'm working to help me gauge where exactly. So this one comes all the way down here. Okay. Yeah. This doesn't shift much, so it should be basically the same thing. And I'm doing my notes and notes to myself, you know, just just work more on pelvis, pelvic for mannequin. So just notes for myself, like how critique students work more on something that I'm seeing as a weakness, because one weakness could just mess up your whole drawing. All right, so I think at this point I can talk a bit more about the backstory of, I hope I've not lost you too much, the backstory of this is basically about masks that every other people wear masks about who they are, their identity, who they think they are. And who you think you are greatly influences how you behave. So it's very important to have a good understanding of who you are. And usually people define who they are by their jobs, what they do for a living, or some event that has happened to them, or based on an activity that they perform within their day or their association. But at the end of the day, the best way to find out who you are, if I walked up to you and you've never seen a device before, and I asked you, what is the use of this device? You probably struggle to tell me. Like, it's, let's say it's a black device, a black box with wires sticking out of it and stuff. You probably struggle to tell me what it is. But if I got the manufacturer and then we asked the manufacturer, what is the device? Within a few seconds, the manufacturer could quickly tell us what the device is and maybe even perform a demonstration for us. And that's the same thing with, I'm just trying to get this head down. And that's the same thing with us. If you want to find out who you are, which greatly influences how you think and how you behave, then it's best to think that you have to ask the manufacturer. So that's basically what this drawing is about, talking about identity and finding your identity in your manufacturer, aka God. So that's the starting point of knowing who you are, and it greatly affects the rest of your life, the kind of decisions you take and everything. It's very, very serious. So that's basically what it is. Like, we have this person who, so sad I'm now explaining this at this point, but it's like you have this person who walks in walks in wearing a mask, stops. So this is going to be like a display of various masks. Stops here, takes off the mask that they were wearing when they stepped into the scene with, places that mask down, then starts scanning the collection of masks for the new mask to wear, and then so on and so forth. So it's basically how people are putting on different identities every single time, and it's not based in anything concrete. So yeah, that's the basic premise of the basic premise of this animation that I am creating. Hopefully maybe another time I can completely wrap it up, but that's it. Who are you? And the way you answer that question determines a lot about how you behave and everything. Okay, so just making sure I'm on the right layer. All right, cool. So that's it. So yeah, just finishing this off real quick. I don't want to speed it up because maybe some new notes or new ideas will come to me as I'm working, but for now nothing new. I'm just learning how to just trace over an existing frame, just do a rough sketch. In essential, we're just picking the essential elements of whatever I'm creating here. Now what I've noticed is these arms are not symmetrical. There's a bit of like a tilt inside. I don't know whether I should leave it in or I should take it out. I might probably leave it in for that asymmetry, keeping it more interesting. When things are too symmetrical, well balanced like that, becomes a bit boring. So that's basically what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah. Alright, so another thing I've realized is with the pen, I'm pressing really hard on the tablet down, so I should probably just shoot this up and then turn this off. Let's see if I do this. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, let's see. I'll probably have to do some research and pick better pencils. So see, once again, something I can learn on is how to pick better tools for, because I know there are quite a plethora of brushes I can work with, and you can even like install more brushes and stuff, but that will be for a later tutorial. Right now I'm just like trying to get the basics down of sketching inside and not complicating myself with so many fancy features and all those things. All right, so that now let's move on to the last frame. Okay, all right, there we go. So I'll probably just work on this arm. All right, and do this. All right, so immediately I can see that, okay, I think I need to bring this. Let me check my reference. So yeah, it's yeah, it's probably somewhere around here. All right, so that's it. I think this works for me. I think this works for me. All right, cool. Yes, I noticed something in the reference. And that is, so let me turn off this. It's not a perfect, there's a slope, it goes like way up. Where's my mannequin? Let me push it up. Let's turn off. It goes way up. I just noticed it right now. That's why I say it's good I don't rush. And this is slanting side. This is slanting side. And then this goes down. Alright, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. And the head shifts a bit to the side. Alrighty. So it's good that I didn't fast forward through. You know, it's good I didn't fast forward through. Let me push this arm down. Box select G and then bring this arm down. Cool. Back to draw mode. Let's erase this. And there should be a tilt in the hips, even though you can't see it now, but there should be a tilt in the hips too, as reaching because it goes with the shoulder line, because yeah, this part is going up, so you have a tilt there. All right, cool. So this is more accurate to what we are trying to create here. This is a more accurate presentation of what we're trying to create here. Alright, cool. So now let's come back to the mannequin. Turn off onion skin. Pick my brush too. And there we go. So you see and then just push, and I realize that this is even wrong once again, so I have to come back to the line. Let me do this. So pay attention to the reference. I think because I have so much going on, I'm not paying close attention to the reference. So this, it comes back. Let me turn on the onion skin to see what. Okay, so I think so. It has to, you see, it comes down and then it goes. So I think this should be a good place to place it, and then it comes this way. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that's a better representation of what I'm trying to create here. So see why it's good to have the mannequin, the skeleton down, because if you didn't have this, you probably just build upon a whole twisted off figure and you don't understand what's going on because it looks so off. And like, what's going on? Meanwhile, the foundation is off. Shut this up. Just wondering why I was so faint. It's kind of messy up in here, so I just no, the foundation would be so off because you don't understand what's going on. You know, you understand what's going on. I've done exactly what I'm seeing. I've done exactly what I'm seeing, but it's not looking like that. Well, that's because have you really checked to make sure that you're drawing the right thing? You know, are you sure that I'm just doing a quick shade to just let me know that's, you know, like the bottom of the box kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I was saying. It's, you know, it's these things students don't like it, but these are the foundations and they are very essential. Because if you don't get this thing right, you just be copying line for line. But when something is off, you don't understand why something is off about your drawing, and that's simply because you've not taken time to learn the fundamentals. You know, things like the essential skeleton, the mannequin, and all of these things. You've not taken time, so you're just copying, you know, line for line, and then it's hard for you to reinvent anything. So I keep on encouraging students to just, you know, just take time out and practice the fundamentals. Practice the fundamentals. All right. So let me zoom out and let's see what we have, and then we'll call it a wrap for today. So just mannequin now. Let me just okay. All right, let's see what we got. So yeah, all of a sudden you can quickly read what's going on. Somebody steps in, takes off a mask, puts it down, looks up, picks a new one, and that's basically it. So for this, you've gotten a good. It's not. This is not a perfect animation, but then all of a sudden you now have a better understanding of how to manipulate the human anatomy or the human form in various angles and various perspectives. And that's what this exercise is all about. This figure drawing practice is all about. How can you break down the human anatomy into primitive shapes of spheres, cylinders, cubes, and then rotate it to represent a motion. So the next stage for this will probably be putting more in between drawings. So drawings in between the drawings to smoothen the motion and make it look more studio worthy, you know, more professional. So yeah, I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed the tutorial. What I'm planning to do next is to create a course on 2D animation in Blender frame by frame. So do subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you get notified when I start releasing these lessons for the full 2D animation frame by frame 2D animation course in Blender. All right, so on to the next one. This is Eli. Stay exceptional, and thanks for watching all the way to the end.